Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Listen, are you planning a trip and want to have some fire pictures taken but don't want to be scammed? You need to watch this video. I'm going to tell you exactly how you can find a photographer when you take your next trip. Stay tuned. Hey guys, I'm Patrice. Welcome back to the channel. I am your bona fide content mompreneur. What makes me a content mompreneur? Well, we are in the beautiful content studio that I've owned for over 6 years. Shout out to Camp Space. I am also the director of marketing and communication for a very big nonprofit. I love content. I love creating content. I love teaching people how to create content. And I'm really passionate about helping mompreneurs, right? Millennial mompreneurs, people like me who own businesses or want to build their personal brands and want to use content to do it, but just don't know how. So I teach tips via these videos, via my Instagram page, via a newsletter, and everything is about creating content to effectively market your business, but doing it a lot easily. So I'm so happy that you're back. If you're not new here, right? But if you are new here, I'm happy that you found me. Let me know how you found me in the comments. Make sure you are pressing that subscribe button and also give me some thumbs up. Like after you watch this video, if it's helpful to you, give me a thumbs up, right? Because that's what we need as YouTube creators. I'll say it again. I'll say it once. I'll say it again. I love creating this type of content. I love sharing what I know. I've been in the communications and content marketing industry for about 20 years. I know I don't look it. I'm 40 years old. And I say that proudly. Like I have this wealth of knowledge and I'm so thankful for tools and platforms like YouTube that allow me to literally sit here and record this video in my content studio, edit it and post it probably in the next couple days. So let's get to it. If you are traveling and you want to have an amazing photo shoot experience, I am going to teach you how to do it. I've had a lot of experience doing this. So I was in Bali last year for about 7 days and I did a beautiful photo shoot there. Bali, I stayed at the Ritz-Carlton, and so that property actually gives all of their guests complimentary photo shoots. And then you decide if you want to buy the pictures. Of course, I bought all the pictures. But the photo shoot was probably maybe an hour long. I think I did one outfit change and we went throughout the property and took beautiful pictures. And then when it was all said and done, I went ahead and paid for the package. And about maybe 2 or 3 days later, they sent me the folder and I picked the photos that I wanted. And then he sent me the folder with all the edited photos. Of course, again, you have to pay extra. So when your hotel property does provide you with a photographer, you do have to pay extra to get the actual shots. But just being able to take the pictures for free is super clutch. And most properties don't do that. But again, it's the Ritz-Carlton, it comes with the territory. But I also went to St. Maarten 2 years ago for a good girlfriend's birthday, her 40th birthday. There's also a vlog for that. There's a vlog for my Bali trip too in the show, in the description. So, if you want to get the tea on the trips, it's linked in there. But I found that photographer maybe a week or so before, but I didn't book it until the day before. What I'm about to share with you in this video, I used that whole process for the St. Maarten trip. I've traveled locally, Miami, a lot of different places, LA, and have used this formula that I'm going to share with you in this video to find reputable, really talented and professional photographers that got me the content that I needed, right? I used this content on my social media pages. I've used this content on YouTube. I've used this content on my website. One of the things I love to do is when I'm doing these professional photo shoots, I'll set my own phone up and get video content of me doing the photo shoot. So you can get a lot done when you set up these professional shoots. And some of you are probably like, well, I got a tripod, I can do this myself. Fine. If that's the way you want to go, perfect. Me personally, I like to be able to hire the people that's going to do it right. And I'm sure I said this in my past videos. Let me hire the professionals to do what they do. I'm going to be ready for that hour and a half, 2 hours, and I'm going to knock it out. And then I'm gonna just enjoy the rest of my trip. Because I'm not the type of person that wants to hold my phone the whole time I'm on vacation. I ain't trying to do all that. I'm just trying to get the content and move on. And this is not just when you're on vacation, right? So let's say you are speaking at a conference. Let's say you are going on a professional development opportunity. You can absolutely find a photographer in those local areas and have them come to the place where you will be and have them shoot. They can shoot video, they can shoot photos. I have done this before. So take this video and apply it to anytime you are traveling, right? This is how you're gonna find a videographer, photographer when you are traveling so that you don't have to worry about doing the content. You just wanna be able to do you and have somebody else focus on the content. So Here we go. All right, so if you are planning to travel and you want to have a photo shoot, here are the exact steps you need to follow. All right, so number one, use Instagram or TikTok, whichever. Use Instagram and or TikTok to scout out a photographer 3 to 4 weeks before you leave, right? Again, use Instagram and or TikTok to scout out a photographer 3 to 4 weeks before you are set to go on the trip. You're gonna use these platforms, super simple, right? You're gonna go into the search term and put hashtag, or not even hashtag, you could literally just put the city where you're gonna be traveling to. So that could be St. Martin, that could be Los Angeles, that could be Washington, DC. And then next to that, next to the city, you're gonna put photographer or videographer. You will then see a list. You'll see a list of search terms that you can click on, and whichever one you choose to click on will then show you a full feed of all of the people who meet these search terms, right? You're gonna see some videos, you're gonna see some photos, and your job is going to be to scroll through all of this search term based content, right? So these results you're gonna search through and you're going to look for the vibe that you like. So one thing that I do is when I know I'm gonna be traveling, I'll do this, like I'll put in the city and then I'll put in photographer and then I'll click on the search term that I feel like will yield me the best results. I'll go through the feed and I'll select the post that I like and I'll save them. I'll have a folder that says Tulum trip and I'll just kind of create this folder filled with images that match the vibe that I'm going for. And once I do that, again, we're doing this 3 to 4 weeks before the trip, I now have a folder of the photos, of the content. And so when I'm ready to reach out, right, after I've done my search, when I'm finally ready to reach out to these people, I have a folder I can go to. It's like you're not starting from scratch, okay? So again, 3 to 4 weeks, use social media platforms like Instagram and Facebook to scout out potential photographers and or videographers. All right, now that you have your folder filled with the type of content and the photos and videos that match the content you want to put out, you want to start reaching out to these people. So I would say probably still in that 3-week time frame, start sending these people DMs. The reason why I say DMs is because you found them on the platform. So it probably makes sense to just reach out to them initially on the platform. And what I've learned is that most of these creatives, especially the ones that live overseas, like to do business in the DMs. Typically, I ain't with that, but these are different circumstances. Again, when you're traveling overseas, there's communication barriers, there's tech barriers. It's probably easier for them to keep it all in the platform. So send them a DM, you know, hello, I'm traveling to insert city on this date range. Are you available? That's the first question you ask them because you don't want to get into rates and processes and all that stuff if they're not even available. So you ask them first if they are available to shoot and they're going to say yes or no. So the second thing again to do is reach out to the photographer and ask them if they are going to be available during your date. The third thing that you want to do is once you found out who's available and once you kind of nailed down maybe the 3 or 4 people that you feel like are going to give you the best work and you know that they're available, let's talk rates, let's talk logistics. Ask them, I want to shoot an hour. I need to have this amount of photos. What is your rate? What is your turnaround time? Ask those questions. Work through those logistics. Usually when you've confirmed that they are available, they will probably just send you their rates, right? They'll say, yes, I'm available. Here's my rates. And they'll give you all the information, right? In an ideal world, that is what will happen. But if they don't, ask them very important questions. How much is it going to cost? How long are we going to be shooting? How many photos am I going to get? How long is the editing process? When will I get my final photos back? Now, if you all saw last week's video, I gave you questions that you need to ask a photographer. You can ask those questions, absolutely. Now, I will say if you're working with someone overseas and it's kind of a quick turnaround photo shoot, they might not want to give you a contract. They might not want to do all of that. Again, you're working with people that work differently. So you do have to be a little flexible there. But once you know they're available, go ahead and get the logistics. Find out how much it costs. Find out the turnaround time. Find out how many edits, how many photos you get, and any other questions that you might have. And I would also say do your due diligence. So go on their website if they have a website. Go on their frequently asked questions and do the research yourself. I think that's important too. But typically in the times that I've worked with photographers going on trips, they've all just kind of DM'd me everything that I needed and we were able to move forward. I'll also say kind of as another part of that is I typically don't go with the first person. I always like to get at least 3 quotes. And I know I've said this before in another video. Always get 3 quotes. Just because someone's cheaper doesn't mean they're better. Go with who makes you feel good, right? So if you know the content is great and you like how they shoot, the price works for you, and it's like a seamless process, go with them. But let's say the price is like super low, but you love the content, but the process was confusing or they didn't get back to you in time, you might not want to go with them. That's just my recommendation. You do what you do. Okay, so next up, you have found the photographer, you've confirmed the logistics, they're available, you know how much it's gonna cost, and you've confirmed, you got a soft confirmation. Next up, you wanna pack, okay? So I'd say, I guess, as you're planning for the trip, I like to suggest packing separate looks for your photo shoot. Don't just pack all the outfits that you're gonna wear on the trip. You need to have separate outfits that you are going to wear for this photo shoot because you never know what could happen. Like something could get dirty, who knows? Just have a separate 2 or 3 outfits that are strictly for this photo shoot. And if you do your photo shoot earlier in the trip, you can definitely wear those outfits, like if you want to wear them again. But I always recommend having separate looks for your photo shoot. Next up, you've gotten on a flight, you've landed, you need to reach out to your photographer as soon as you touch down. So either send them a DM. If you're overseas, once you confirm, a lot of those photographers that I've noticed like to move over to WhatsApp to have some, those deeper conversations. But like as soon as you touch down, even if your shoot isn't that day or isn't the next day, be like, hey, I just got here. I'm looking forward to shooting. You might need to work out some additional logistics. You might need to tell them actually where you're staying. You might need to decide what your meetup point is going to be. But as soon as you touch down, your priority is letting them know that you are there. So they know, okay, my client's here. We got some work to do. All right. So next up, you want to absolutely make sure you touch down. When you touch down, you reach out to your photographer. We didn't talk price and we didn't talk about payment methods because again, these are going to be, if you're traveling overseas, these are creatives, photographers that they might have different processes, right? Like everybody doesn't operate the way the US operates. And you're going into their territory, so you kind of got to work with what they got going on. But what I will say is once you decide on a price, I always tell people to pay with a credit card and not a debit card. When I introed this video, I said so you don't get scammed. And when you're using a credit card, it's not coming out of your bank account, which is money that you probably are going to want to keep clean and freed up while you're taking a trip. Also, when you pay with a credit card, it's much easier to dispute the charges. It's, again, not coming out of your bank account. So I always suggest when you are working with these types of vendors, especially overseas, you use a credit card just to keep the scamming at a minimum. Again, I'm not saying that people are going to scam you, not saying that at all, but it's always better to be safe so you don't have to worry about it. So when you begin to talk about payment, use a credit card. It just makes more sense. If you ever need to go back and dispute something, it's much easier to do it with a credit card. Your money is not being held up when you use, like it would be when you use a debit card. All right, so you have landed, you ready for your photo shoot, you got your looks together, and it is time to shoot. I just want to make sure that you are always keeping safety first. Safety is key. So at this point, you've already decided where you want to shoot. But just some things to keep in mind when you do come up with the shoot location. Always, always, always shoot in a space that's open, that's well lit, that's like open to the public. I don't recommend shooting in your bedroom or in your hotel room unless you have someone else there. Now, if you're going on a solo trip, then you absolutely need to be taking pictures and shooting content where there's other people, okay? We're in a day and an age now where everybody got a camera, everybody taking pictures. So it's not weird if you go to the beach and you have a photographer taking your picture. That is very normal. But if you are not going on a solo trip and you have people with you on that trip, make sure somebody is with you during this photo shoot. Safety is key. You also want to check with your hotel or your accommodations to make sure that it's okay for professional photographers to take pictures. I'm in the DC area and I do photo shoots often. And there have been many times where I thought I could just go into a hotel and take photos and they were like, yeah, no, you don't have permission. So check with your hotel. If you're in an Airbnb, you don't have to worry about it, but definitely check with your hotel first to make sure that they're okay with a professional photographer coming in there and taking photos. And again, have somebody with you if you're not traveling by yourself, and just be smart. Just be smart. I pray that everything is safe, and I've never had an unsafe experience with a photographer, be it out the country, be it in the country. It's always been on the up and up. But we have to be safe. We have to make sure we are looking out for ourselves. And so I just want to remind you of that. We always think about the fun. We want to take pictures. We want to do all the things, but you got to be safe. You got to be smart. And I want nothing but the best for you when you do this, because when you take these pictures, you want to just think about all the great experiences, the great memories from the trip. And we don't want no mess, no unsafety. That's it, y'all. I hope it helps you capture great content while you're on vacation. Listen, even though, like I said earlier, like we're business owners and we have brands, and sometimes I think we have to keep it strictly business. But there's nothing like throwing a fire vacation shot on your profile, just to let people know you are real, you are relatable, you like to take trips too, right? I say this all the time, everything is content. And so like, why not? If you got a great trip coming up and you want to capture, you want to remember how amazing it was, get you a photographer. And if you have a tripod, you can totally do it yourself. I don't have the time. Once I finish taking my pictures, like I'm actually going to Tulum in a couple days. I'm going to have a photo shoot. Once that photo shoot is done, I'm gonna put my phone away. Now I'll give you capture a little video here and there, but I'm not trying to make every moment a photo shoot. I'm trying to experience and enjoy my time. But listen, if you are a great creator and you know how to prop that tripod up and do your thing, more power to you, baby. Save your money. But also, I think it's also really smart to include a photo shoot in your trip budget. If you don't have the photo shoot, fine, use the money for something else. But if you're a content creator, if you're using content to market what you got going on, why not? You can always repurpose the photos over and over again. I think that's it. If you have more questions, definitely leave them in the comments. Give this video, like I asked you earlier, a thumbs up. It's over now. It's over. And now you can say that it was a great video by leaving a thumbs up, and leave some comments. Let me know if you've hired a photographer when you went on an overseas trip. If you've had, like when I went on a Bali trip, the people that put the trip together, Paradise and Vibe, they hired an entire content creation team. So there were like 2 to 4 videographers and photographers everywhere we went, capturing everything. So we didn't even have to capture stuff we didn't want to, because after the trip, a couple days later, we got a folder with everything. It was amazing. But again, they're planning a retreat, and they know that content is everything. So they knew we were going to want it. And I think they wanted us to be able to just enjoy the trip and let the professionals do what they do. So again, I hope this was helpful. Leave some notes in the comments. And if you have questions, related to this, or if you just have like content marketing questions, let me know. Leave a comment, give us a thumbs up, share this video, because I know all of y'all are traveling. I know all you people traveling. So share the video. If you've recently hired a photographer, again, let me know in the comments. I can't wait to see you back here in a couple days, trying to stay consistent, doing the best I can. I love you, and see you soon.